What's going on, everybody? Rob Doster here from the Field of 68. And today we're going to bring you another episode in our NBA Draft Prospect Profile series. These are going to be dropping throughout May and throughout June, a couple a day. So if you do like this content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and do hit that like button. Anything that you can do to interact with these videos, it really does help the channel. It helps more people like you find this content. And since I have you here, make sure you check out our Instagram and TikTok pages. We are going to be pumping out more unique content over there throughout the spring and the summer heading into the 2022-23 college basketball season. Like, for example, did you know that Penny Hardaway was shot when he was in college? I didn't know that. You can find that story right now live on our TikTok and Instagram pages. The links for those are in the description below. So without further ado, let's get into another Field of 68 NBA Draft Prospect Profile.
All right, welcome to the Field of 68's NBA Draft 2022 Prospect Profiles, where we dive into each of the top players in the 2022 NBA Draft. I'm Stadium Insider Jeff Goodman here with former Wake Forest star Randolph Childress. And today we're going to break down the game of one of my favorite players, kids I've ever been around. And that's Kansas's Ochai Agbaji, who his story is well documented, but he comes out of high school and nobody really wants him. He's ranked in the 300s. I remember asking Bill Self earlier this year, I said, why did you take him? He said, well, he's a good kid and he wanted to be here. He wanted to be in Kansas. I'm like, Bill, that isn't enough. That's not why you take a player.
Right, not at Kansas.
But, man, Ochai has turned himself into a dude and a guy that is a potential lottery pick,
yeah.
Randolph.
Yeah.
Potential lottery pick.
Yeah.
What do you like about Ochai?
I think he's the ultimate 3-and-D guy in this draft. And his stories, like you said, says so much about him. He's a guy that just checks all the boxes. You know, he goes from 8 points as a freshman to 10 points to 14 to 18, 19 points a game to a national championship, coming from a guy that went not just a small school. The guy ranked in 300 goes to Kansas and earns himself as, their best player and takes them and leads his team to a national championship. And that matters because it proves to you he's a winner. He didn't just go. This guy led his team to a national championship. So I love him. I think he will go in a lottery pick, not because his ceiling may be the highest, because I know what I'm going to get. I'm going to get a guy that defends at a high level, shoots it with range, and you're going to have to guard him when he gets there. He's a high volume, 41% 3-point shooter or whatever, from three. And I think you just can't devalue that. I mean, he came out, we saw him in the Final Four. He came out and he was a big factor in them going to the championship. I mean, he got that team going. I love him. I think there's a lot of guys with a probably higher ceiling.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't surprise me if one of those teams just say, hey, give me this guy. I have my other stars. I need this guy to do what he does. And he'll come through the door. He's going to defend and he's going to make shots day one.
He's got size.
Yes.
He's got character. Like you said, he's turned into a really, really good perimeter shooter who can also guard.
Yep.
Like when you compare him to like Corey Kispert a year ago.
Yeah.
All right, Corey Kispert, better shooter, better pure shooter, similar size. Kispert's probably a little bit bigger, but he can't guard like Ochai.
Can't guard like him.
That's the difference to me why I would take Ochai in the lottery.
Right.
Because you're getting a guy who's going to be able to go right in there and contribute, right? Yep. Right in there. Can he be a Desmond Bain type of guy? And that's what you're looking for right now. He's done it, and he comes from winning DNA. That's the other part that, to me, makes a guy like Ochai so attractive for an NBA team. One that maybe is a player away or needs somebody like I look at the Boston Celtics.
Yes.
They need a guy who can just shoot the hell out of the basketball, just to space the court. Now, Grant Williams has turned into that, but Ochai is a guy that you can just put out there. And again, he's going to make the right decisions. What do you worry about most with Ochai at the next level?
Going to a team that I don't, what it is? I don't worry about him. There's no concerns I have because I'm not concerned about him as a character kid. And you know what you're getting when you draft him. What is there to concern? In today's game, 3-and-D guy is a 6'6" perimeter guard that can guard 1 through 3. And then sometimes small ball fours. check, check, check. I'm okay with that. So I have no concerns with that. I'm not going to make him a ball screen guy. I'm not going to make him do something he's not going. He move, cut without the ball. He can catch the ball, catch it and drive it some. That's not, but again, I know I'm getting a high level 3-and-D guy. I have no concerns about that. I'm not gonna get him and try to make him my secondary ball handler, my decision maker, anything like that. I don't think anyone is looking to draft him to do that. But as far as getting 3-and-D guy, I have less concerns about him than I have pretty much any of these guys that we've been talking about. And I don't know if there's any guard in the country wise, because I know I'm getting that from him. I don't have to worry about a high turnover guy, gonna defend at a high level, gonna shoot it at a high level with range. His translation to the NBA line won't bother him at all. Day one, any team can find, he'll play for any team. Whoever drafts him, he's gonna be a rotational guy no matter what. It doesn't matter. So many guys we're talking about, we're gonna need certain situations, the right team. There's not a team in the NBA that won't take a 40% three-point shooter and a 6'6" guy that defends at a high level. I don't know a team that wouldn't take him.
So my biggest concern with him coming into this past year was, kind of that killer instinct, right? And could he put it on the floor?
Right.
Can he put it on the floor and explode? Because he is athletic.
Yes,
he's very athletic, but sometimes you can go through an entire game and not see an athletic play from Ochai Agbaji. And this year, I thought he took a major step forward in that as well. His confidence, it started right away. Champions Classic, right out of the gates, you were like, oh, my goodness, this is a different Ochai. I'm not sure it was consistent all year like that, but he definitely took a step forward to me where he can he be more than a 3-and-D guy at the next level if he continues? Is his handle good enough to be able to get past NBA guys without, obviously they're going to close out hard on him because so with a shot fake, can Ochai be a guy that shot fakes, gets by a dude, explodes to the basket, and is dunking on dudes in the NBA?
Well, he is athletic enough to do it. And again, when you shoot it at that range, you're going to have guys flying at you. He's not going to be a give you the ball, ISO, make a play like shot clock. You don't need him to be. You need guys running at him and him good enough off the bounce to drive closeouts. He is athletic enough to go finish at the rim. Now, he's got to get used to that. That'll be part of his adjustment. But again, that part can come. I feel a lot more comfortable with that than some of these other guys where I'm saying, all right, we got to get him from a 20-something% three-point shooter up, or we got to change his mechanics. We got to make him. He's a big guy. I mean, he's 215, 220, athletic guy. I have less concerns about it. Can he be good enough to drive you off a closeout, 1 or 2 dribble? That's all he needs. And he's going to be that. And that's okay. There's plenty of guys that I would love to say that about. Again, we know we're going to get elite shot making and elite, defender. And there's not a lot of guys we can say we're going to get elite stuff from in any draft.
Yeah, I think Ochai Agbaji is one of the safer picks
in
this draft. I mean, a 4-year player at Kansas who's won, you're going to get a consistent approach from him.
Yep.
Right? No risk. It's almost like, what's the risk in Ochai Agbaji? Now, again, the reward may not be quite as high as some other guys you're looking at, but you've got a huge body of work to evaluate him from. And again, he's won at the highest level now. Would you take him? Is he a guy? To me, I would take him, 10 to 20.
Yes.
10 to 20 would be the range for Ochai.
Late lottery pick, I would take him.
Yeah.
Because now for him, and this is, I will say this to him, and he won't appreciate it because I know you want to go really high in the draft. The later he goes in the draft means you start falling to playoff teams, the better rookie year he's going to have. Right. People think, it sounds great. You get more money and everything else, but you're going to bad teams. It depends on who else is there. He needs those other guys around him. When you start falling into those teams and it gets to those 20s, you're talking playoff teams.
Yeah.
So you get a guy like that. Like if I'm a team and he falls in the late teens, any team that made the playoffs, what team in the playoffs could not use him? So if he starts falling outside the lottery, let them other guys draft off potential. If I'm him, I'm hoping to slip to the middle of the first round because that means I'm going somewhere in the first round to a team that just made the playoffs. And you plug that guy in, a high-level defender and three-point shooter, his job would be that much easier and create some success for him early.
I like Ochai too because you never can tell if he's struggling or he's made 8 in a row. His approach is the same. The look in his face is the same. Very even keel, which I think will do him well at the next level because there's going to be a lot of ups and a lot
Yes.
of downs.
Yes.
And I don't think he's a guy who's going to get flustered. And again, the hardest part for Ochai Agbaji is he may be a second unit guy who comes off the bench, gets a couple shots, and then you're back on the bench. I think he can handle that.
I think he can. And I also think he's a kid that because of the way he shoots the ball, he'll find himself in the rotation no matter where he goes. Because he's gonna the hardest thing to get guys to do coming in because they're busy, they're bigger, physical. You're playing against men, right? The best in the world at their craft. He's gonna come in and be able to compete defensively willingly, and he's a worker. He's gonna punch the clock. He's gonna show up. He's gonna be one of the earliest guys in the gym. He's as safe a pick as they'll be in this draft, but his ceiling is not as high as some of these guys. But again, there's strength in knowing that if this is what I'm gonna get, I'm okay with that, and that's why I say when he gets outside of that lottery. Mid-first round, I don't see a team in any of these playoffs that wouldn't say, all right, it may not be day one, but he couldn't come in at some point and say, all right, you can fit in the role. It'll be, and I think the way he shoots it, the way he defends, he's going to buy time. He's going to get time. He's not a liability on a defensive end.
No, he's not. Ochai Agbaji, a player that we both like.
Yes.
I'm Stadium Jeff Goodman. He is Randolph Childress. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow us on Field of 68 on the YouTube channel, on Twitter. We will have profiles of every single player you could possibly want to know about for this year's NBA draft. Thanks for joining us.